Okay, so here is an overview of the first version of the intro slash hiking music as it will appear in game. So basically, what I've done is I've imported all of Ryan's stems that he provided me with. All the different things are on their own tracks, the different guitar parts, the piano, the bass, the kick drum, and the other percussion. I have moved everything from the guitar layer 2 down off to the side for now, just because I'm trying to prototype this and figure it out, and it's much easier just to do it with the first section where it's just two guitar parts. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So basically, this is meant to be a way to track the player progression through the first part of the game and move the music to different sections based off of how far they have progressed. So we're going to drive all of these changes with this parameter here called intro progress, which is just a float that has value range from 0 up to 100. And I've defined some specific ranges that I'll come back to in a second. In terms of the way that I've broken up the track into sections, there is an A section here, which is just the very, very intro part that sounds like this. And that'll just loop as long as the intro progress parameter is between 0 and 10. So when I hit play and you saw it go through the playhead and hit the end of this loop point and come back, that was because progress was at 0. So you can see where I'm going with this probably, that if I move progress beyond 10, we'll be able to go past this loop section and we'll go into a section here, which is just the next repetition of section A with a little bit of variation. And this green thing here is going to check at the end of bar 8, hey, what's the value of intro progress? Is it still between 0 and 10? If so, go back to section A and loop that. So I'm going to go ahead and move intro progress to a value greater than 10, and we won't loop. We'll continue past. Okay, and so it's going to check. It's like, hey, is this less than 10? No, it's bigger than 10? Okay. Play section B. So this is the basic logic that everything's going to follow of just checking a value and allowing the song to progress or telling the song to start back over to a previous section. Yeah, so we'll let this one, if the value was between 11 and 20, then this would loop. So we'll set it to 17.5, it'll loop again. And the loop's a little rough. I still need to work on my cut here on this section. All the other looped sections loop seamlessly, but this one's a little off for some reason. So I will advance the progress beyond what this loop wants of a value of 11 to 20. We're at 22.5, so we'll come to the end of section B here, and it will continue to play through. It's going to check values for A and B sections. It says, oh, we don't need to go back to those. Our value is high enough to go into section C. And so as long as we hold this progress value, section C will loop. At the end of it, it checks, hey, is this value where I want it for section A or for section B? It still says no, it's the value for section C, so we keep looping it. But I'm going to change it all the way back to 0, which will take us to section A once we hit the end here. And that's it. I'm going to make more sections and add in the other instrumentation going forward. There's also like a little bit of variation. I've cut up stuff a little to have some slightly random volume every time that it plays. So it's like a 2.5, 3 decibel volume difference, which just is going to make it seem like the guitar player played it that verse or that section ever so slightly quieter or ever so slightly louder each time it repeats. It doesn't really affect the overall mix very much. It just sounds more like a variation in performance. But that is the version 1 of the intro hiking music for Wendy Goes Hiking.